Good morning and welcome to the SHAC. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity here in the UK, and it's time to draw and explore again. We're still in Japan, and I think we're going to stay there. I've had an idea. So let's see if anybody's in the building. I know that our dear friend Paul will be helping. So he's in the room with you if you have any questions. And other than that, we're just going to wait and see if I recognize any of my friends this morning. Have you had a good weekend? Did you? We did. I was on telly on Friday, which was really busy. And I think I might have been a little bit manic, but it was just a high energy show and I was really enthusiastic. But so if I talk too fast, I apologize. But it was a great show. I mean, much needed, but it was good. And I enjoyed it. I think the demos were well, the presenters were great. The demos went well. Yeah, all in all, a successful day. The traffic is just abysmal. It takes hours. The night before, David actually driven me all the way up to Peterborough, so that then I would come home with Paul. And it took us about 4 hours to get there. It took Dave 4 hours to get back. This is not a 4-hour journey, And then on Friday, when we were driving home, imagine M25, M11. It was just chocker, wasn't it, Paul? So, so when it's good, it's worth it. When it's not good, you have to wonder, because those are hours you never get back, friends. Yeah, but there you go. It was a successful day. And on the Thursday night when we were driving up, there was a big car pile up and there was a motorbike involved and ambulances and all sorts. So that was quite depressing, really. Yeah, that poor old bloke on the motorbike didn't see that coming. Anyway, so I hope you had a good weekend. We sure did. Grace flew off today. She's at the Heathrow Airport. She's off on her travels again. So we had a wonderful time together, though, and she'll be back before you know it. So, but there you go. We don't have them for ourselves, do we? And she's living the life. She's living a good life, living the dream. Yeah. She's having a good time. So she's a little pit stop in Spain, I think, and then she's flying out of Madrid to back to New York. I loved the shows on Thursday and Friday. Thank you, Jane. Yeah, I did too. It was good, and it's set to be a lovely sunny week. So we shall see. I've got another TV show on Sunday next week, so I've got to prepare for that. But you'll like that one. It's if you're into the scene building and the landscaping, you'll like that one because it's all about stencils, masks, and stencils and masks primarily. But it's all about scene building. And of course, I'm getting the jelly plate out again. So the gel press as well, large one. Be interesting. I think you'll enjoy it. Anyway, let's get started. It's 10 o'clock. Our friends are in the building now. Good morning, everybody. Good to have your company. Yeah, look at you, 50 people already. Good to have your company. It's a lovely way to start the Monday, isn't it? I spent an hour yesterday thinking about our travels today, because of course we draw and we explore, and at the moment we're exploring Japan. So we just finished our teapots and our landscape within the teapot, and then of course I thought kimono, K for kimono, perfect. So first thing we're going to do, because we always, as we flick to the next letter, we draw the letter, don't we? So that means at the end of the alphabet, we'll have a whole alphabet done, which is great. So let's have a look here. We need some tracing paper to do that job, don't we? And we're on K, and I thought it'd be nice to go to kimono. So I was looking at all the letters, and I thought, right, well, I'll hang on to the A because the A gives me my height. And then I'll hang on to the B just to refresh your memory. And if you if you're new to the fold and you're thinking, I missed the first few letters, you haven't. You missed the live build-up, but you didn't miss the tutorials because they're all on YouTube. And Paul, our friend Paul, is going to give you the link. But they're all recorded always. So let's have a look. So you haven't missed anything. You just got to catch up. They're all there for you. They're all there for you, and they're all free. And I know people, you know, friends of ours, they've gone right back in the SHAC, right back to day one, and they're working their way through the entire SHAC program, you know. And we did go on our travels on that bus, didn't we? So yeah, so yesterday I was drawing the K for kimono, but I completely forgot to do the letter. So I've got to wing it a bit today. Be all right though. Be all right. We know what a K looks like. Come on in. Let's have a look. So the first thing we need is to stay in tune with the letter. So we need a pencil. Let's have a look. I just need an HB pencil. Any old pencil will do. I'll go with an H then. I've got a couple of these. Let's have a look. Yeah, that'll do. Dave's made me a really nice, he made it for me. It's in my truck. I know. So, because often I do the SHAC here, then I do the SHAC at work, at Clarity Towers. So depending on the builders here, whether the noise is, you know, going to be bad, we know. And then I go to the office and work from there. So he's made me a little transportable truck for all my bits and pieces for the SHAC. It's really handy because it's so, you know, at the end of the session, put it all in there, and then I know exactly where to find it afterwards when I'm coming back. So let's do these letters. Yeah, so the new studio, Dave's nearly finished it. I think by tomorrow, by the time Groovy Tuesday rolls round, it'll all be done, which is rather lovely. So here we go. Look, if we look, the letters are 7 centimeters or 2 3/4 inches in height. So the first thing I've got to do is make myself a line for the baseline, and I've put my A for apple underneath, right? And then I'm going to make a line, so 2 3/4 inches or 7 centimeters, and then so let's have a look. If it's 7 centimeters, so that I don't go off at a slant, I'll make a little mark there at 7, and I'll make another little mark here at 7, and then I'll run across here like that, and then I know that it's the same, isn't it? And then for the 4 centimeters, I'll measure up 4, and I'll just make a mark there, and that's useful for the lowercase, yeah, and also for where we put the bridges. That's where we put the bridges. And if you recall, we make the letters a little bit leggy. Let's call it leggy because they just look nice, leggy. So for example, if you look at the B, you see, leggy is not the right word at this point, but the center is a bit higher. The center's up. It's not the center, it's up a bit. There you go. So I'm going to take my A out now because I've got my distance. Oh, sorry. I've got my distance. Now I'm going to pop my B in because I want that leg. I thought the B, I looked through the letters, and I thought the B would be just the ticket for the, K. So what we're going to do now is let's have a look. What sort of K do we want to do? There's so many different ones, aren't there? I think I'm going to just keep it simple and go, there's that bit there, and then like that kind of K, right? Like that. And then the little K, it's going to be as tall as that, but I think, what should we do with the little K? Just make these legs a bit smaller, or we can make a little ribbon. Should we try a little ribbon like that? Yay. Okay, let's give it a go. Give it a go, she says, wishing that she'd got on the bus a little bit earlier this morning. I've been here since 6 o'clock, friends, waiting patiently. Oh, yeah. Right, so let's get this K. Let's get this tall one in. We can always rub out the extra bits, can't we? So we've got that bit in. Is anybody doing the K with me? Yeah, that'll do. And then I'm going to go, let's have a look, to there. So I'll do that. And then I'll do that. It's a good start. Okay. Okay. Right. Let's come down there like that. And then see what happens if I go like that. Might look good. Got to go for it. Let's just put that under there like that so we can see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's quite a nice K. Just needs, the pitch needs to be the same, right? So we'll go, by the pitch, what I mean is this distance here needs to be. So that's quite a good one, isn't it? And it's a leggy K. There. That'll do. I quite like that one. Yeah. That'll do. And then we're going to go, let's get our eraser pencil. And we'll just take that bit out there. Don't need that. That'd be nice. Right, so we fatten that up a bit. So the pitch is the same, the distance. Nice. Did you have a good weekend then, while we're doing our K? What'd you get up to? Did you stay in the garden? Did you go out? What did you do? We went to Mickleham Priory on Saturday. Okay, so on Saturday, Grace and I went into Tunbridge Wells and I bought a nice dress for Mark's wedding. And then, yeah, we just had a bit of a girly morning in Tunbridge Wells. And then in the afternoon, we went to a place called Mickleham Priory. Really nice, down near, going towards Hastings, but not that far, because it's not far from here at all. But it's the most beautiful. It's so steeped in history. And there was a really lovely Sussex Craft Guild. So the Sussex Guild of Crafters, they have an annual event there, and it was this weekend. So we went down there. One of my pottery friends, one of my ceramics friends, she exhibits there. Absolutely immaculate work. So we went down to see Glenys, and yeah, so it was just a fabulous day, and it's like going back in time, you know, one of those places that, and it's got a little moat, and it's got it's just beautiful, little mill, little water mill, little moat, little forge, yeah. And there was a lady there with a big spinning wheel showing us how to spin nettles. The fibers off the nettles was so silky, you know, absolutely amazing, really good. So let's have a look. We've done the K. So that's what we did on Saturday, which I really enjoyed. It was nice, just Dave and Grace and myself. Right, now we want to go to the next one, which is the smaller K. Yeah, I'm almost tempted to just go for it. Let me just get a straight line, because I think it needs to be straight. Yes, definitely needs to be straight. So maybe to make it look more like a baby K, rather than a capital K, uppercase, lowercase and all that, maybe we just don't drag it out so far. Don't make it quite so curvy. Right, so we make it a bit smaller, a bit more modest. There, like that. Right, so now this time, the bottom bit, okay, so we'll do the same, go to the same place there, come in a bit thinner, maybe just come in a bit thinner. That'll work. Just make it a bit thinner, like that. Then what about, let's just give it a shape first. This would be quite nice. Oh, hello. And then yesterday, you know that place I'm always talking about, that really good roast dinner? So brother Steve and Sheila, they brought Mum over, and then we went to the Boar's Head, and we had, we're an easy crowd to please. 6 times roast lamb, please. Thank you very much. So that was that. That didn't take long. And it's absolutely delicious. So that's what we did. Do I like this? Yeah, I think I can cope with this. So, so we went for a lovely lunch, and then Sheila, she who makes the most amazing, I might make that a bit fatter. She makes the most amazing puddings. So then broke the diet and blew the diet completely, came to the garden, had beautiful cheesecake and banana, banoffee pie. I know. Diet out window. So that was Sunday. So all in all, an absolutely delightful weekend, to be fair. Gave Grace a really good send-off, I'd say. And then yesterday evening, we went for a walk up on the forest when it cooled down a little bit. Met a really lovely couple, got chatting to them. She was also a potter, and he's a barrister. So they were really interesting people. Great sense of humour he had. You'd want him on your team, you know. So that was nice. She was lovely. And then it's funny when you stop and you start to talk to people when you're just walking around. Do we like that? Does that look a bit weird? Well, I'm not going to waste any more time because I've got a kimono to draw. But you know, when you meet people, and so often you can communicate or you can walk past, you know, people are walking past with their dogs, people are, you say evening, and then you know whether you can. So these people, they were very, very sociable. So Dave was already chatting to them. And then Grace and I, because Dave can't walk the big circuit that Grace and I do, so he walks the short circuit and he waits for us. You know, you adapt, yeah, and it works really well because it means that the three of us can go. And then so Grace and I did the big loop, and then I could see Dave already chatting to these people. And when we got there, we joined in. Just really, really interesting, lovely people. And what's very interesting is the more you communicate and the more you open up and you invite conversation, the more you realize just how much you've got in common. You know, we had so much, the commonality was quite something. And the children, you know, what they have in common, their children, our children, it was really a lovely, we must have spent about half an hour. Well, what was interesting, okay, I'll put this away. What was interesting was, as we were standing there, these two beautiful golden retrievers, like they were like twins. You could see they were definitely related. So these beautiful two young golden retrievers, up they came, you know, like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, came round us, we gave them a pat, real, you know, like pedigree dogs, and chatted to them, and then they poodled off down the. We were on the forest, so we were up on the Ashdown Forest, and we're in the 100. You know, from Winnie the Pooh, we're at the 100-acre woods, that area. That's the area where he writes a lot. So we always do the similar circuit. You can go, you could be the big loop. If you do the really big loop, you end up at Pooh Bridge, right? So we did the smaller loop. And so these two dogs, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, off they went down the, you know, it was lovely. Then this crowd of people came along with a couple of dogs. And we said, well, they've gone on ahead. Your lovely dogs have gone on ahead. Look, there they are, waiting for you. They said, not our dogs. And we said, well, whose dogs are they then? Right, so we started looking, couldn't see the owners. And it's panoramic, so you could see for miles, you know, couldn't see anybody else. It was really quiet. So we said, wow, well, I wonder whose dogs they are. So we thought, well, they must be still coming out the car park. Waited. So this fabulous family, right, there was mum, dad, kids. They got as far as the dogs, which were waiting for them, and they took the leads off their dogs, put them on these two dogs, and brought them back. So then the community's getting bigger now, right? Well, whose dogs are they? We can't leave these dogs. There's a really busy road flies past. They drive like nutters. You know, it only needs one of those young dogs to jump in the road, and you know, sayonara. Anyway, long story short, it was so nice, real community spirited. This family, they made some phone calls, knew a bloke, knew a vet, of course you do, knew a vet who had a chipper who could, these dogs were chipped, you knew it. They would be able to identify the owners, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so they took the dogs and they were so biddable, these dogs. They just got in the back of their great big car and off they went. And then the dad was on the phone and they did it, you know. And so we were there for about an hour and everybody was just, it was so nice. You know, that community, we don't see that. You maybe do, but we don't experience that very often. And it was really nice to kind of be part of that. And then later on Facebook, Dave said, look, here it is. And it said Crowborough, Ashdown Forest, these 2 dogs were found on the forest. Please, if you know the owners. And then straight away, somebody else came in and said, I know where they're from the village, la, 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 la. And so the dogs were returned to their owners and they must have got out of the garden. It's basically, so the owners must have been going frantic. Either that or they didn't notice because they were watching the Olympics. Yeah. So there you go. That was a little adventure. But it was the overriding, apart from the dog drama, the overriding experience for me was opening up to this other couple and listening to them and realizing, you know, how, you know, we must have crossed paths in Germany. We might well have, you know, it was that kind of strangers. Same pottery studio with different days. Isn't that weird? Yeah, I know. So there you go. Right, on to the kimono. Are you ready? Let me just see. Yes, that was fun. We need the tracing paper. I'm going to put my letters in my folder. Put them in there so I don't lose them. And then we'll move on to the kimono. I did a sketch for it. It's only sketchy. So, you know, it's not finished, but I need to be able to draw it with you and give you the dimensions and make it easy for you. Yeah. So here we go. This is achievable. So I did one. I thought this would be a really nice way to go. Right. And it's kind of, if you look at it, it's just a square, isn't it? And then I put a little skirt on it, made it a little bit longer. But if you chop that off there, it literally is 5 inches by 5 inches. Or if you're a metric girl, 13 centimeters by, guess what? 13 centimeters. So either 13 by 13 or 5 by 5. Yeah. And then I thought we could do this. And like we were before, we could make a little landscape. I did a little bit of digging about kimono and what it means and where it comes from, because I think, you know, it occurred to me that we draw as we explore. And when you explore, you learn things. And I thought, well, let's not just learn how to draw a kimono. Let's learn what kimono means, kimono. And for example, what it means, because we know that in Japan, everything has a meaning, right? Well, interestingly, kimono just means thing that we wear. Okay. So there you go, kimono. And also, there are only 2 things worth noting. This is called an obi. Okay, it's like a sash, and it can be really wide. You know, like sometimes they're really wide, aren't they? And then the wrap, it's a wrap around, isn't it? So it's square usually. Sleeves are also square. I've added a little bit of poetic license to us and made them tucked up in the obi, so they're a little bit more interesting. Otherwise, it would just be a square box. And also left over right. So apparently, okay, on the wrap, check it out. This was, funny enough, I'd drawn this, then I thought, oh, I better gen up on the kimono. So I went and gened up on the kimono and found out that it's left over right, right? So the wrap has to be left over right. And then I thought, oh, I did it right then. I did it correctly, right? So that's the only thing that's important, is that the obi is wrapped around the middle and the wrap is left over right, unless the person is deceased. And I thought, Oh, I'm guessing that what they mean is if they are buried in their kimono, then you have to wrap it right over left. I don't know. But there you go. We're not deceased. We're definitely in the picture and we're going left over right. So the first thing we want to do today is get the shape. Once we're really happy with the shape, which is literally a piece of cake, okay? See, because if you remember, if you recall, we're into our landscapes and our scenes. And what we did last time, there we are, we put a scene in a teapot, didn't we? Do you remember? We took that fantastic teapot design from Mel. It's in there somewhere. And we modified it. And then we transferred it to parchment. And then we rubbed out, didn't we? Isn't that lovely? So, but we've got a scene in a teapot. And now we're going to develop a scene in a kimono, okay? And I've only done it roughly, but I thought we could make this tree like this. See, I see this black, the branches. You know, old gnarled tree. And then light, maybe dotty, this. The jury's out on how we draw these leaf foliage bits, right? Maybe we do like loads and loads of dots, do a bit of pointillism on that. And then in the center, either side of the wrap or the sash, right? We're going to do a little, like a little house, little water house with a reflection in a lake. And then I thought we'd do some mountains, right? And then a sun, nice, maybe orange. You can see it, can't you? Water, hills, cut a little carrot men. We could put them in kimonos if we don't know how to do the legs, right? Then some hills. And of course, they get bigger and bolder as they go down. And then I just did a little bit of an extension there. So what we could do from a design point of view, we could put patterns like maybe stripes, you know, just to kind of frame our pictures. And this one, jury's open on that one. I thought maybe I could come round here and we could put some branches here. I did do a sketchy, an even sketchier kimono. Here it is. This is how it starts, friends. This is the process. See? So on this side, I've come round the back of the wrap, got some trees here. And then here, there's like a, I thought it'd be really cool to do like, what's that called? I've had a mental block. Like a little bridge, like a pass, and like a crevice here. And you could have a river running down there. Look, see a bit of water, a couple of birds. But these are like cliff edges here with one of those little rope ladder things across there. A bit wild, but that could be quite good. And then I thought, wow, if we could draw it 5 by 5, I wonder if we could draw it tiny. And it's really easy. So there you go. And that's how I draw, really. I sketch it out really roughly to start with on a piece of copy paper. And then I go to the tracing paper. So I've worked out, you know, it's weird, isn't it? Then I go to the tracing paper and that's the one I'm going to transfer, you see. So you've got to be a bit more particular then. Yeah. Bridge over a ravine. Thank you. It's a ravine. That was the word I couldn't think of. I'm going to write that down. A ravine. Yeah, good. Thank you, Zara. Ravine. Right. So a little bridge over a ravine. There you go. Nice, eh? I've got the bridge in anyway. Okie dokie. So let's get started. We need a piece of tracing paper and a pencil. And then we'll get going. All right. And if we just get the shape down today, that'd be good. Now on Thursday evening, I've got a craft along. So this is going to be Monday. Okay, Monday. Monday we do the shape. Maybe next Monday we'll do the infill if we don't get anywhere today. We might be able to get a little bit done. Don't take long to do the shape. Thursday, I've got a craft along. I hope you're going to join me. And we're using Jane Nesterenko's. Starts at 7 o'clock in the evening. I hope you're going to join me anyway. It's a SHAC time. And it's using these. It was teed up quite a long time ago, but you may still remember. Do you remember these beautiful little, this whole advent of, look, do you remember we did these? Jane Nesterenko's tiny little boxes. So nice. And I thought it would be really nice to have a craft along with these and just spend a couple of hours together. I know it would be a bit warm, but it would have cooled down by then. Come on, friends. And then we'll make a couple of really nice cards and we'll put them through their paces and I'll give you loads of tips and tricks. And if you can't join me on Thursday night, never mind, I'll be here. I'm certainly here. And you can always look it up afterwards, can't you? Hey? You can always catch up later if you can't make it because it's too warm. Okay, right, so we've got a bit of tracing paper and we'll go into our book actually. Let's have a look. I'm going tall, bit of copy paper. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll leave it attached because it's easier, like that. Bit of copy paper underneath so I don't press so hard on the... Okay. Right, 5 inches by 5 inches, remember? Let's do it. 13 centimetres by 13 centimetres. Let's just make a box and then we'll go from there. Right, box. 5. Okay. And then, I mean, it's only a rough box, so don't get hung up on it. 5. It doesn't have to be exact. It just has to be roughly. We're going to hand draw this kimono. That'll do. And then we've got, let's have a look. 5. There you go. That's not bad at all, Gray. Right, so we've got 5, 5 and 5. Now, let's have a look at some of the measurements that I added on my kimono because it really helps you draw it. If you've got 5 to 5, 5, 5, right, so you can see the box here, can't you? So what we need now, we need to go in 2 inches on this side and 2 inches on that side. So that will leave us an inch in the middle, okay? Let's do that. So we're going in, let's say 2 inches on that side and 2 inches on that side. It's quite a lot, isn't it? Let's go in 1 3/4 inches. There you go. 1 3/4 inches. See, if I only do 2, then that's the neck there. Right, okay. I'm gonna go just under 2. There you go. Just give it a bit more wiggle room. There you go. So that's where the neck's going to be. See? That's going to be where the neck is. So we'll make a little mound there, like that. That's easy, isn't it? Okay. So we'll take that out. And then down here, right, so we've got that there and that there. And then across here, let's have a look. We've got 5 there. And we're going to go, so down this way, we're going to go 1 1/4, 1 1/4. We'll give it a bit more flair rather than a block, okay? Let's go from this side then. We'll go 1 1/4, okay? And 1 1/4. I reckon that'll work, like that. So this is the body now. So if you just go from there, that's seems like quite an angle. Well, it would be, but right, let's just do it. 1 1/4, 1 1/4, like that. Okay, so that gives us a bit more room to draw a picture in, like that. Okay, so that's the body, if you like. That'll work. And then if you just go there and there, like that, just put 2 little dots in there for the minute. Just a little. This is going to be the sleeve. So now we need to decide where the body's going to be. I reckon, do you want a measurement? It's going to be about, I reckon, a couple of inches. 1 1/2 inches till you get to the obi. Okay, so we'll go 1.5 inches to there. That'll do. 1.5 inches, right? And that's going to be the waist, if you like. So it's quite nice. Let's see if it's the same. Yeah, good enough. So that's the top of that line, and then we're going to pop another line in there or up there, whichever you prefer. I'm going to go there like that, so I know that's my waist. Okay, and then from there to there is the sleeve. So you can go freehand, or let's just do it with a ruler. We can always, once it's in the right place, you can always put a bit of a curve on it if you want to, can't you? But let's at least just get it in the right place, and then we can draw it, make it look a little bit more, less like a Dalek. Okay, but you get it. Let's put this in now. So we're going to go from here to the center. Okay, just do that. Okay, then start in there, come round to here, and then go from here to there. This is the wrap, like that. Then we're going to come round the other side, like so, and this is coming in, we're tucking this in. So we'll go from here and we're tucking in, right? So what you got to do is pretend you go in there, but don't. So we're going to go like that, and then like that. There you go. So that's tucked in. That's tucked in there. If you want to go a bit wider, go a bit wider. There you go. Oh, look, we've even got a bit of fluting. There you are. Right, so that's the top part. And then this here, right, this comes under the obi, if you like, and we're going to bring this down, but we won't do that quite yet. So this is the shape, look, like that. Just keep looking at what you're doing. Makes sense, yeah? And then here, we're going to add another inch or so. Let's have a look. How much have I added there, do you reckon? An inch? Yup. That'll do. Bit of an extension, like that. That's it. That's the extension. Just put an extension on there. Now we've got our shape. All right. And then what we can do, if you want to, we can start to be a little bit more adventurous. So let's say, for example, now we're going to start drawing. So what we want now is we want a border here and a border here, because it's going to be different fabric, isn't it? So let's just put a little line in there like that, and then we'll do the same on that side. Okay, and we're kind of, there we are, and then we'll get rid of that line, and we'll get rid of that line. Okay, so now you can see you've got your kimono. When we went to Japan House last weekend, we seem to have nice things going on. When we went to Japan House, they had a couple of exquisite kimonos on display. One of the designers, the most famous kimono designer or fabric designer, she was a textile artist. The intricacy is quite insane, really, what they do, and they are like canvases. It's almost like a canvas, So let's treat it as such. But let's make it look a little bit more organic. So what we're going to do now, we've got the shape, right? We've got the dimension, let's say, and what we're going to do now is make it look a little bit more not computer generated. I know we've drawn it by hand, but when you use a ruler, there's a difference between running a pencil down a ruler and running the pencil freehand, isn't there? So let's have a look and let's get it right now. Okay, and what we'll probably do is just come down here. We'll leave these lines in place and then we'll soften them up. That's what we're going to do now, is soften up the lines. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to come around here. And I can use my rubber as I go. Right, see? And I'm going to change that angle. Yeah, see, so I'm softening that up a little bit. Right, and we're looking for a bit of symmetry, really. That's it. And then that line there, see, that's tucked in. I want to make this one a little bit rounder, I think, you know, not so angular on that corner. You wouldn't want to wear it, would you, if it were that stiff? Right, there you go. So let's come around there like that. So we need to do this really before we start infilling, don't we? We want to be happy with the framework, really. Right, let's have a look. Round we go. We want to make it the same width, don't we? Yeah, I like that better. See, it's a little bit more. And then this, I'm going to bring this in just a tad, just get a little bit of a, see, the lines are there, we know now, but I think I'm going to just put a little bit of a, yeah, you see what I'm doing? Just a little bit of a curve. What a difference, a little bit of, there. Do you see? Looks far more wearable. And then we've got this obi, this big obi. So we can put a little bit of a, don't have to put an angle on it, but it will look softer if you don't. Oh, look. Just by drawing it freehand over the top helps. Right. There we are. See how it's changing it? It's interesting, isn't it? Let's do the sleeve. What we'll do is, I mean, really, you could follow the line and it will happen anyway. But let's just, I'm going to go like that. So I'm going that way and then that way, like a bit of a wave, you see? So I'm going like that and then like that. I mean, like that is extreme. So I'm literally just coming on that side of the line and then coming over on that side of the line. There, just like that. And then when you take out the ruler line, so we're learning, you know, we're learning. Just, these are so simple things. I mean, come on, I don't have an art degree. I'm only a O-level art girl. I'm self-taught, aren't I? But years and years and years of pursuing this kind of drawing stuff have helped. And I like sharing, you know that. Right. Doesn't it look different when you just put a bit of pencil to it, a bit of freehand. There you go. See? Just softens it up really nicely. Doesn't it? So we've got a retreat. Let me see, the summer retreats. If I'm not mistaken, I got, Paul told me this morning that the first 2 days in August, the retreats are sold out now. They're completely sold out. We've still got a couple of places on the Thursday and the Friday, which is the 15th and the 16th of August. So if you fancy joining me for a couple of days on the 15th and 16th of August, got some really, I'm really pleased about the way the different projects, the different activities are shaping up. They really are coming together nicely. And I took the executive decision this year to not do a groovy project, because we've got the groovy the parchment retreat in we got the parchment retreat in October. So, and it's all parchment, you know, that's all we're doing. So, and then of course we've got the 1-day workshop after the open days in November. We're going to have a second run at the open days. We're having a Christmas open days, which is going to be exciting. So I'm sure that Paul will give you the links for that. We'll talk about that closer to the time. I always tend to look at what's on the horizon. And so at the moment, what's on the horizon is the August retreats. So the Tuesday and the Wednesday are completely sold out. The Thursday, oh no, is it the Monday and the Tuesday, Paul? Let me think. it's usually the Thursday and the Friday. So the Tuesday and the Wednesday are completely sold out. The Thursday and the Friday, we've still got a couple of seats available. There you go, if you want to join in. And I'm not doing groovy. I'm announcing it now. So please don't be disgruntled. I think there'll be more people happy that we're not doing groovy, because when people come and do a workshop with me, it tends to be inky painty papercraft, you know, mixed media, jelly plate, and it's all there for us this time. I think you're going to really like it. And I want to show you, I don't think I've shown you what I'm replacing the groovy with. There's a reason why I decided, well, it's either that or we hang out for 3 days, which isn't going to happen. Tuesday and Wednesday sold out. Thursday, Friday spaces available. Paul's just told us. So I don't know if I've shown you this latest technique that I'm developing at the moment. It's paper collage. Okay, remember those infusion papers? I'm always I've been going on and on about, you know, last year we had the tea bag phase, didn't we? And then we invested a lot of money in these beautiful collage papers, and they are chamomile and peppermint and hibiscus and Darjeeling, those 4 colorways. So this is using those papers. And it was what I had in my mind's eye the whole time, but it's just finding the time to do it, isn't it? So I thought it would be good if I showed you in the retreat how to do this. So this is what's replacing the groovy session. And if you take a look, you'll see it's literally just paper, and then these are all cut out. They're all cut out of paper and then glued together and pieced together. So they're not, the houses are on top, but everything else is pretty much on the same layer. Okay, so there's a trick to it. And this is the one we're going to do in the retreat. That's the one we're going to do in the retreat. Right, so you ready? Here comes the next one. It's addictive, but this is the one we're doing in the retreat. It's the starting one. That's what I would call it. I would call it the starting one. It's the one where you get to understand how it works, because there is a skill to this. It's not, it looks easy, but it's easy when you know how. Let's say that, right? And I'm going to show you how in the retreat. So that's the one that we're going to do in the retreat. But I've been busy, right? You ready? So this one's called cottages, let's say. And then we've got one that's called lighthouse. I like this one. These are for my kitchen. I've done these to go above the Aga in the kitchen. So you see, so they're a pair. Look, two's a pair. You ready? Look, aren't they nice? I think these are lovely. I think they're lovely, and they take time to do, but I reckon this will be very popular. Okay. And then last week, as if that weren't, I'm really getting adventurous now. You ready? I know, viaduct. So then I did a viaduct. This is like the advanced class here, though. This one took ages, but I like the viaduct a lot. And you can see that this is all cut out and overlaid. Right, so now we're into overlay. But because the collage paper is so thin, it just is lovely, right? And you can see the trees are actually, you can see where they come from, can't you? So there you go. We've got the viaduct, we've got the lighthouse, and we've got the cottages. And I am going to explore this technique a lot further than this. But I thought, right, if you want to join me on that journey, then that's what we're doing in the retreat on the first day in the afternoon. Yes, it is. Right. I think the collage work is beautiful. Well, thank you very much, Lynn. So do I. So do I. I think that it's got so much scope. You know, I've worked out a system, you know, because that's the thing, isn't it? It's all about the processes, isn't it? It's all about the processes. Will you be showing us how to do the collage? Well, the thing is, though, you see, Lillian, I can't really. That would be unfair to the people that have paid to join me at the retreat. So, but leave it with me. Leave it with me. I'm sure I'll come up with something. So there you go. That's what we're doing. If you want to join in, then be my guest. Right, let's have a look. So we've done this. Now what we want to do now, though, before we forget, we've got to put the sash in, haven't we? See, so the sash comes down underneath the obi, and we're gonna, let's put it in with a ruler, and then we can, do you want to put a little tiny slant on it, or do you want to go straight? Let's have a look. If I go tiny little slant, it might be more interesting. Let's see. Go to there, like that. Looks pretty straight to me, really, Barbara. Right, that'll do. So same distance, like that. Okay. Like that. Let's have a look. So it comes down like that, comes down like that, tucks in there like so, comes down, and then we're going to give it a little like so. So this is, and then we're going to go by hand because it will just look more like your art rather than a download. There you are. Nice. There. Oh, do you know what? Okay, Lillian, I've got an idea. Watch this space. Watch this space. Okay? Just bear with. Bear with. I know what to do. Right, so now we'll go like that, and then we'll go like so. And we've got our shape. Check it out. That wasn't so bad, was it? And it's all quite organic now because we've actually hand drawn it, haven't we? Once we've got that outline, see that? So it's left over right. So we're well and truly still in the game. We're still alive. Right, we've got little shoulders, got the sleeves coming out, got that. And then what we've got the tree coming up here. So we're going to use this old gnarly tree, and then we're going to make cloudy like blossoms off the old gnarly tree. And then here we're going to make a scene. Yeah. So the old gnarly tree really starts about here and it comes up like that, doesn't it? And then it comes in, it's like it's coming in off the edge. But the thing about the old gnarly tree, what you'll find is, in order for it to be old and gnarly, let me show you. The trick, if you use a pencil and you just bring it down like so, and you're holding it like you would a pen, right, then you'll be it's going to be smooth. If you hold it perpendicular, up, we've done this before in the SHAC. If you hold it up and then what will happen is it will automatically, I mean, you can, if you go fast, you can get it smooth, but if you go slowly, you'll automatically start to get more jagged, right? And if you think, now this is, if you think old gnarly tree, then you can really get old and gnarly, look, by holding it upright, you see? Then you can come in like that. See? So then your old gnarly tree, but I'll show you a trick, because when you do this, you're going to go really lightly. Okay, so you come up like this, and then you're going to start, you just got to decide where, so go off like that. Don't worry too much about just get your shapes in first, get your design in, so you know just about where you want those cloudy bits to be. You could bring one in down there like that. See, so what you're doing is you're just bringing in, see what I'm doing? So I want to bring this one, actually, I want to bring this one over further because I may want to come round here, you see? So in order to do that, I need to lean into this side a bit more, like so. Yeah. but you've got to leave a little bit of open like that. There we are. So I've come in like this, and then here I'm going to go off like that, and then there I'm going to go off like that. Right, bearing in mind this is all going to be really black, so it's not crucial. You know, like, look, you can overlap like that. It doesn't matter because it's all going to be inked in complete black when we go for it. What is important is this: when you do this bit, right, let me show you. When you go to put the cloudy, like the cloudy bit on, let's just make like a cap. So we're going to go like that. Let's just say this is the tree part, right? So I'll go a little bit heavier. I'm not going to draw it in this heavy in ink, but let's say that's the tree part. Can you see that okay? Well, the idea is, so let's say there's another tree part here, like that. And then we'll put another tree part in, like that. And then maybe another one here, okay? Like so. I think I'd like to put another one in here. I don't know, I might change it. Looks like I should have done something here. Okay, well, that's easily remedied. So what I'll do is I'll bring this up a bit further. There you go, bring that old gnarled bit in up there. And then we can put another one of those. They look like that. See, so the shape is like that, really, like a kidney. Yeah, except it's a bit fluffy. Okay, that one's a bit naff. Do that again. Right, do that one again. So I'm going to go a bit more fluffy, like that. But what makes it look right, you see, at the moment it's like not done, is it? But if, for example, this one here, right, so we've put this cloudy bit and we've come in here like so with the branch, but then what you do is off that branch you bring more branches. So now you bring your branches into it. So this one here like this, for example, right, if that's coming in like that, then you bring this one in here, this one in here. See, and then all of a sudden the tree's not just, it doesn't come off one branch, it comes off loads. See, so now you've got your hanging foliage, but the branches off the old gnarled bit, there are lots more of them. Check this one out. Let's come in really tight so you can see it, and then you can have a practice before we get together, right? So look at these two here, right? So when I get to here, what I'd like to do is make a branch there, a branch there, a branch there, maybe another branch. I could make more branches, see? Then you've got to know when to stop though, right? So here, there's one going in, this is the kidney bit. Then you go like there. Then maybe I'll come in like that. See? So you're creating the canopy. See, it's like, see that one, that on its own going to there looks a bit, so now you're going in there. Then maybe, let's have a look, you could go up like that, go like that. And now you look, see, it completely transforms it, doesn't it? So once you've got your canopy in place, then what you do is you just add your little, see? Nice, isn't it? Easy. And then I've got to figure out how to come down, but I may not. It's all a question of design. But I really like this kind of old gnarled tree. Yeah? And it's just hanging off the side of that. It's just hanging off the side of that sleeve. Isn't that nice? So the sleeve becomes like a mountainside. See? I like that. I like that. So there we go. I think we'll call it a day. It's 5 to 11. We've done enough for one day. I've got a list as long as my arm of things that I need to get done. And don't forget, tomorrow it's Groovy Tuesday with Paul in the new studio at Clarity Towers. Then on Thursday, it's the craft along with myself. Watch this space. about the collages. There are still spaces on the retreat regarding the August clarity retreats. And it does look like a bonsai. You're right, Ken. Thank you. B for bonsai. And I shall see you on Thursday for the craft along, Jane Nesterenko's craft along. And Sunday, 3 to 5, stencils, masks, and jelly plates are on the menu. And then I'll be back here on Monday and we'll continue with our kimono. All right, lots of love. Thanks, Paul, for your help. And I don't think, I'm just looking at my, yeah, it's all good. Enjoy the Olympics. You know, they're doing a grand job, Team Britain. And it's just a pleasure to watch young people excel, isn't it? Okay, lots of love. Have a good week and go easy. Drink lots of water and stay in the shade. Perfect place for craft.